Welcome back to the Stoop football fans. It's your boy Lolo. We're here on a little bit later of a show, and it is already dark and freezing outside. So we let everybody stay home and keep a little social distance between us for a bunch of reasons. But we are here, and I do have some guests coming in. Of course, Mark is going to be here. But it's been a crazy week 18 for 8 teams because only 4 teams played and there were 6 matches. I mean, only 4 matches were played. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where let me get over here. All of these postponed. Thank you so much, John, for the graphics. Crazy week. But Arsenal played, Leeds played. We remember that. We talked a lot about I see what you did there, John. Yeah, sneaking in the away logo on there, just over the Arsenal. Cheeky John. Arsenal won. They continued their form, but we talked all about that. So we are going to be discussing more the Liverpool versus the Liverpool Tottenham match, which we have in the background here. Harry Kane hugging his favorite referee. We're going to be talking about the next one, Wolves, Chelsea, 0-0 draw as well. And the Manchester City trouncing of Newcastle United. But before we get started on all that, let me just remind you guys, please do hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I'm sure you have already. And also hit the share button. It matters. Share. Every time you do it, it's a little part of the algorithm that helps us out. Even if you share it to no Twitter followers like me and Mark pretty much have. But good to see all of the Stoop crew who's here already. I think first up was Anders, I think, had the first comment earlier today. But Ben Ireland, I see you. Ben AZ Leeds. Good to hear you. You can fly back to Leeds. Very nice. Jimmy, Bremer's Ghost. Who else do we have? Mr. Tom, Rob Colton. Good to see all y'all. So let's let him in the door, and I guess we'll start talking football. Mr. Mark.
What's going on, guys? And just remember, sharing is caring. It's the reason for the season.
Just also remember, Sharon is not Karen. So don't get those mixed
Sharon
up.
is not Karen. I got that mixed up once, but that's a whole different happy hour
once.
story.
Come here, Sharon. Karen.
Oh man!
I like that. We got to kick in some director
yesterday.
John humor.
I thought my head was gonna explode.
Oh my God, Mark!
I can't take it anymore, and I know I don't want to dwell too much on it because I know as we get deeper in the show, we're going to be talking about it more. But you know, y'all been hearing it from the pundits. I listened to Alan Shearer talk about it earlier today, and everybody's got. But I just can't take this garbage refereeing that is going on right now, and it's just when it is inconsistent across the week or across the season, that's one thing. But when it's inconsistent in one match, it just, I wanted to throw my computer that I was watching the game on out the window. Just like they're throwing the usage of VAR out the window.
Well, you know, you're talking about listening to the pundits, and yeah, I kind of constantly have some pundit talking football in my ear while I'm doing things around the house, and I forget who actually mentioned it, but they said VAR is not the issue, it's the implementation, it's the people behind it. Which is, you know, computers aren't the problem, the internet's not the problem, it's the idiots that use the internet all the fucking time that ruin things. It's people that ruin things. But I just, where are the consequences? Where, like, somebody fucked up. I think it was Mike Dean fucked up so bad that it was like, oh, he is not going to be allowed to officiate another match this month.
He was
a 3-match ban, but he does VAR and he does fourth official, and he.
No. Mike Dean was sent to the championship
for how long?
For like a month. That was his.
But that's the thing.
That
Why
was his
should you be
penalty.
allowed? Why send him to the championship so he could fuck that up? Those teams are like, no.
Wait, you've been caught stealing at Tiffany's. You are no longer allowed. You can only shop at 7-Eleven.
But listen, Ben's got a point here, and this is something that a lot of people have been screaming about for a while. Is why are there no interviews of the refs after the matches? And I know it's like a long-standing thing of refs do not give interviews. They don't talk because they should be unbiased. And as soon as they start answering questions, there's going to be biased questions, unbiased questions, this, that. They become more media personalities. And I guess they can be swayed. But clearly they're already fucking swayed. I think... And now for all of you who have followed our show and loved us because we aren't super American about our love for football, I'm going to get kind of American with y'all. And you know what? When a play happens in NFL, in American football, they come out and say, the player was doing this and and he's ejected for this. Whatever. If there's a VAR decision, whatever the decision, if the ref has to go and check it out, he should come out and make an announcement. This is what the player, there was a foul on the player. It was not, I do not deem it a red card. Moving on. And then we're like, oh, okay. I get where he's at. Like the Aussie guy that mic'd up. Or the rugby refs have the microphone constantly. And so at least after a match, you can hear. Like, those would be the hottest. If the Premier League was smart, they would fucking turn that into a $10 a month podcast. But you could listen to all the entire referee track from the match. You know how many people would buy that?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I know collectively we would share a subscription.
I definitely agree that, I like the fact that refs don't talk to the press. They don't talk on, on the media. I don't even think they social media for that matter. And I like that. I like that because it does maintain a certain non-bias in reffing. And that's one thing. I was thinking about, and what I was thinking about is that if there's something that doesn't like Kane's foul didn't go to VAR, did it? I don't remember.
It did go to VAR, but they did not. I mean, listen, everything goes to VAR. Essentially, okay. If it's even the slightest one, they're always watching. It's not like
sure.
But then it's only when they're like, hold on, stop play because we're not done.
Right.
That's when they're like, oh, it officially went to VAR.
Right.
But then the next step is to get the ref to come look at it. Is recommending that they come look at it.
Right. They're like, you might want to look at this.
So that's where the holdup was whoever was doing VAR didn't recommend that. And how do you?
Okay. So there wasn't a recommendation for VAR, and because it wasn't made. We'll call it wasn't made public. It wasn't made available to the audience that is watching the match. There was question, I think, even with the commentators on whether or not the yellow card was from the studs, having the studs up, or if it was a handball.
Because that was the debate involved. Too.
And I think the commentators had said that it quite possibly was for the handball. Now.
Yeah, I read that.
If the ref refuses to look at VAR, now is that something that the managers are made aware of? Yeah, we're not looking at that. Are they made aware of that by the side refs?
I don't know what they're made aware of and what they're not.
Because it makes sense to me that they would go over to the manager and say, yeah, we're not looking at that. And if that was the case, why don't they have something like they have in the NFL where the manager can go, I'm going to throw my red flag. I get one challenge a half.
Well, look, this is where people really start to fucking hate us, Mark. This is really where they start to hate us. But and like Rob just said, I like the NFL style announcement idea, but it would slow it down again by 12 seconds.
I think
by him running back out and
honestly
going,
think that VAR needs I think all penalties should, or all fouls should be subject to a time frame. You know, like Mike Dean spends, like, he can spend 20 minutes looking at something where he will run to one side of the pitch and look at the video and then go all the way over to the other side of the pitch and do that. And it's just like, you already have slowdowns, but what, you know, so, you know, you would have some sort of time management, you know, or how about this? How about this?
That gets back to clear and obvious, Mark. Exactly what you're saying. If it takes that long, it's not clear and obvious. Go with the call on the field. Moving on. As bad as it was, at least it was a call on the field, traditional football, good and bad. At least it wasn't a fuck up from the technology. All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
Fair enough. You know, and I was just saying, move on to your idea. We can, you know, what could happen is that, you know, there would be time that, you know, things would timed when you're looking at penalty, or when you're looking at fouls and looking at penalties, are
you dunking?
I think he's double dunking.
Double dip.
You know, you know what? I've lost my train of thought, but it's like, you know, why have those things count towards stoppage time? You know, like, for instance, in the Wolves match where the referees,
it has to count
his thing conked out, and there was 12 minutes of stoppage time because of it.
It has to, though. It has to.
Does it? Can't an exception
because
be made for the ref? Because otherwise you have players that are out on the pitch for, you know, almost 2 hours.
But they weren't playing for that time, though. They weren't playing for that time. So it doesn't matter. But that's what it has to stay 90 minutes of actual play time. And so if something happens, it kind of has to be. Well, we've got a special guest in the house who's here because, of course, we're talking about shitty calls. So we need more support from the Arsenal fans. So let's get him in here, supporting the Big Blue, I believe they're called. Big Blue. Little Blue,
just Michigan? Blue, baby, just blue. Go blue. But listen, I honestly, I don't want my involvement in this segment to stop Mark from his incessant bitching that has just been going on for at least 3 months now, which apparently is the length of time you're not allowed to complain about officials. If you go longer than 3 months, these are his words, everyone.
You know, to be honest, I was actually talking about the Tottenham match. I wasn't even talking about Wolves.
You're still complaining about the refs, and at the end of the day, isn't that all we ever do?
Everyone right now is complaining about refs. You turn on any Premier League commentary show.
So what you're saying,
being talked about right now.
So what you're saying is, since we've been doing it for the last, 15 years, that we're just that much more in tune with what was happening in the league than everyone else?
No, the only thing is that, like, next season, when you guys bring up the red card on David Luiz, which inevitably you will, that's where it becomes to be too much.
It was stupid.
I will say this: now that everyone else has seen what we've been seeing, we don't have to mention the David Luiz stuff. And I'll say this: I don't know if maybe the tide is turning and they realize how fucked they've been with us. I feel like we got away with quite a bit this weekend.
You guys,
I don't think
should have gotten a red card.
I don't think we're allowed to say they would red card Xhaka for that challenge, because now he has one that we were all ready. We were all like, that's a red card.
I thought they were going to execute him on the field,
easy, on the spot.
Right.
I felt like the referee was going to go and give him the armband real quick, just so he had to take it off. Just like to add insult to injury. But listen, where we're getting at is refs can be as shitty as they are. Mistakes happen, but it's when the mistakes seem to happen in favor of not even the teams. It's even on an individual player basis. Specifically Andy Robertson, Harry Kane. But again, in the Wolves match, I felt that the long ball pass from Sa, the keeper, blows past. Podence is flying. He timed his run right. He was onside. He's 5-10 yards behind Kanté in. And Conte's back there because it was a set piece, so he's the farthest man back.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes a play, and it comes off of his arm. And I think the referees know that it's Kanté, the nicest player in the league, and one of the, he's like, of course he didn't mean it. Kanté would never cheat. We all know that.
Right. It's just a mistake. It was an accident.
Yeah, it's like, it probably came off of his leg. Like, they don't even look at it.
No.
Well, I think on any other team, they blow the whistle and it's a foul. It's not a yellow card. It's not anything. While everybody's screaming for a red card, like that would be the minimum.
Yeah, this season we've even seen with offsides. They just like if it's not close, the analysts just say, "Oh, VAR's checked it and didn't come up with anything." No, 100%. But they're trying to avoid those controversies of like the millimeter thin margin that they're calling them offsides or calling them onsides. And it's implemented horribly. Listen, we've been saying it from day one on this show that it's a trash system.
I want consistency within the match. And the Liverpool, that match was grossly inconsistent. I mean, there were many, and we're not even talking about the push in the back that Jota got in the box. Mm-hmm. Where it was like, oh well, our reasoning is that he stopped.
Yeah, it's bullshit. That's insanity.
I'm surprised Klopp didn't get a red card because I would have been just like, oh, you're going to give me a yellow here? Give me a red while you're at it. Just do it because you're not going to calm me down.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw somewhere too that like Andy Robertson was on someone's team of the week, and I was like, "What? Are you serious? He got a fucking red card. He tried to like decapitate."
He had a goal and an assist. He had a goal and an assist, and should have gotten Harry Kane sent off. But listen, right. Naji. Unfortunately, Naji had something come up at the last minute, but he's able to text us clearly and comment. But he's saying, "Stop it, Lolo. The ball hit his thighs and traveled up to hit his hand. He did not do it on purpose, and therefore I don't
think anybody purposely wants a handball."
We saw one of those last
James
season.
A month ago got a red card for handball in the box.
We saw one last season where the guy threw his hand up because the keeper
that was Matty Cash.
Was it Matty Cash?
It was Matty Cash that did that.
It's got to be something though. It's got to be something.
So he's saying
intention doesn't matter.
A handball.
Yeah, but intention
doesn't matter. Stopping a goal scoring opportunity, if you did it or not.
Yeah.
You got to say it's a foul. And how bad is the foul? Well, had he not fouled, the guy behind him was 5 to 10 yards away from him and was in on goal and still had work to do. He was one-on-one with a very good keeper.
It's Mendy in the net.
It's not stopping a goal. It's stopping a goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah. Right.
That is why the last man, do you think, here we go, Mark, do you think David Luiz had the intention when the guy's foot hit his foot? He was just running.
Like I even said it at the time. It was a very, very
That's all
light
I'm
red.
saying.
I don't think
Conte meant it either. And that's what I was saying. Do you think the referee had a tiny bit of, who is that, Rudiger? No, that's Conte. Well, he didn't mean it. Rudiger would have fucking meant it and been off.
Yeah.
I think if it was Rudiger, Podence would have gotten the card.
Well, it's not like players, like when Aaron Ramsey's leg got snapped in half, it wasn't because Shawcross meant it. Or was it Shawcross? I think it was Shawcross. It's not like he meant to do it, but it's like
the Leeds guy who busted the little kid from Liverpool.
Right.
And he only got a red card after they saw that he was injured.
David Luiz on Raul Menes. It's not like, you still get punished for being bad.
Of course, he didn't get sent off.
Nothing happened there.
I don't. Okay. Well, that was a 50-50 ball, but you get punished for being bad, basically. Like if you make a bad tackle, you get carded. So if you like can't trap a ball off your thigh and stomach and then you handle it with your arm because it's way out and stop the progress of play, you should be carded.
Yeah. I mean, but look at this. This is a Leeds fan who just said this. Conte shouldn't be allowed a red ever. But I mean, see, we all kind of, at least if you've ever watched Conte and you've seen anything about him personally either, we're all like, no, he's a great fucking dude. But
cool.
but that bias shouldn't fucking be in there. A foul that stops a goal scoring opportunity, by the book, Mark, is a red card.
Yeah.
So why is the whistle not even blown? Why is the whistle not even blown? I understand. So let's go with Naji. It should still be a set piece from right there. And how are the Wolves going to fricking score? Off of a set piece, probably. It's going to be Saiss or Kilman or somebody who's going to score, not Jimenez.
I don't know.
Or Wang.
I just, you know. Well,
what's going on? Wang is who's in the house, by the way. We've been going off on some rants. Hopefully, we're getting to all of your guys' comments. Good to see you, Naji. Jean Dion. Good to see you back here as well. Gary, don't waste a tweet. Good to see you as well. Naji, call in, brother. Call in.
Naji wants to know, it was Conte's action red card worthy? I think we're all in agreement here that it should have been. You know, but
yes.
You know, you all in the comments that are watching right now, let us know what you think. Let Naji know what you think, because you know, if you side with Naji, he's gonna breathe a big sigh of relief, and if you don't, his head might explode. We might hear it from our prospective locations.
Guys, I just put up a survey in the comments section, so go ahead and click what you think. Did Conte deserve a red card? And we'll get that going. We'll see what
anyone that says no is being bought and paid by Naji with the promise that he just won't talk shit about your team for like 15 minutes, and then he'll just go
paid for by Thomas Tuchel.
I just like that now that he's not on the show, but we know he's listening. Just love in the WhatsApp every week. He's like, whatever, Arsenal, you need to look out for your own club. We're 12 points ahead of you the next week. Watch your own club. We're 10 points ahead of you the next week. Watch your own club. We're 8 points ahead. I'm like, keep it up, Naji. Keep it coming. That number keeps getting lower and lower. Everybody's laughing about Arsenal being relegated. Oh, yeah. Chelsea going to win the league.
Yeah, and it's also like a lot of it is, Arsenal had, you know, 4 starters out for the first 3 games and we got smashed. And it's like, no excuses. You have to play your players. This is the Premier League. Last week or just the other day, they draw with Wolves. Well, it was our B team. You know, we just have too many injuries. I'm like,
Mason Mount
and then you get told to mind your business.
And Mendy and all these players, they are B team material. I think your only B team player was Chabola or whatever his name is.
Chalobah, who he was singing his praises. And Chalobah has played a lot this season. Chalobah's put in some shits. He's all right.
But, you know, it just when it comes to these teams that have injuries and they can, like, bring a Kevin De Bruyne off the bench or bring a,
fuck, they sold Kevin De Bruyne.
I know. Bring whoever it is off the bench that would start on 90% of the rest of the league. You know, I just don't understand it. You know, it's even when we see like, you know, City is playing with their B team and their B team is like,
God,
Foden, De Bruyne, good one.
He punished Grealish and Foden. So he sat down Grealish and Foden and didn't let them start because of some disciplinary things. They have 12 other people. Like, are you kidding me? How is that?
Mr. No Excuses is coming through with just a fuck ton of excuses right now. The game should have been canceled. Our preparation was chaotic. Oh no. Yeah, our captain was in fucking Spain getting a tattoo.
What's going on, Dave's LFC?
Naji, we also had bench players out for COVID as well, but You know,
Dave from
What are you
LFC
gonna
Chat
do?
says, breaking news, VAR has ditched its sponsorship with Specsavers and signed a new deal with Confused.com. Very nice.
Here's my thought on this, on COVID and players and teams being wanting games canceled. I mentioned it on Happy Hour. We've been dealing with for 3 years. The protocols are in place. The vaccine is available. There are no more excuses if your team gets sick. Either you feel the team or you forfeit. Done.
Yeah.
Full stop.
They made the Denver Broncos play a football game with 0 registered quarterbacks last season.
Yep.
You know, like you just got to. I think they've got to go to empty stadiums. I think.
I just think that they've got to convince. They got to convince the players to get their
players
vaccination.
Need to stay in a
this
fucking
is the
bubble.
lowest. The Premier League is the lowest football league in the world for vaccination rates. Everyone else, like La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, they're all in the 90% range. I read for the English Premier League, it's 68%, and that's inexcusable.
The Bundesliga, I think, has the highest vaccination rate, and they are still playing with 0 fans.
Really?
In attendance.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
that's just because nobody will go.
I mean,
I'm just fucking with you. I actually like the Bundesliga. I like the Bundesliga. I'm just fucking.
I mean, if there's one team you're going to go see, it would be like Bayern or Dortmund, and they're not allowed to have fans, you know.
Matt, I was thinking about this. It's funny because we keep hearing everybody, all these teams saying like, "Oh, you know, we've had to start all these youngsters, all these academy kids. Like, oh man, it's no fair. We've had to." And we're like, that's what we were saying about the first half of the first part of the season, but in reverse, we were like, yeah, but we had to start all these old fuckers. Like,
yeah, I mean, like last season,
we get to start our academy kids now, and we're happy. And all of our 19 and 20-year-olds, we're like, finally.
I know. We were like, when can we get fucking Willian to fuck back off to Brazil and Louise the same, so we can get some serious like our talent in? And you know, it's nice. I don't now, you know, we have to be measured, obviously, in our just excitement for this, because, you know, when we do come up against the 3 teams that are ahead of us and the 2 or 3 teams that are right behind us, we tend to get fucking smashed.
Yeah.
So, it pains me to say this, but I think we'll have a better understanding after the Wolves game. You know, like if we can get 3 points off Wolves, I'll be like, okay, maybe we have something going here into City. And as long as we keep City to single digits, you know, I'll be all right. I'll take those 3 drop points and go out and hammer the rest of the bottom half of the table and see if we can just tread water in 4th.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I just hope Tottenham's fixture list gets so congested that they're all, you know, just dead tired to play.
Yeah.
They're exhausted by the end of the season.
You guys have a bit of a congested schedule coming up, I think. You know, where you guys get some extra matches. We have an extra match. You've got a quarterfinal coming up tomorrow, and then after Cities, you've got the FA Cup with you know, but there's a little bit of time in between that because I think that's like the winter break.
The FA Cup, there's actually a winter break.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I don't give a fuck about any of them either, to be honest. Like, we don't need another FA Cup.
But they suspended the replays of the second legs of the FA Cup.
Right.
So when it gets
there's all sorts of strange
win at home and away
going on. And
the FA Cup or the League Cup, I forget which one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna address Naji here when he says that they had 14 players available against Wolves. That's 2 less, only 2 less than we had. I don't think it's much different. You know, we're not exactly fielding a huge squad either.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have sent the 30 of them out on loan like you keep bragging about. Maybe you should have kept some of those bitches home. Yo, Conor Gallagher.
Yeah. But you know, shall we move on to the actual games themselves?
Yeah, let's talk about the games. So, Matt, unfortunately, we did kind of talk about Arsenal at length. Do you want to talk about these other matches?
On Saturday, we did.
No, that's all right. I'm sorry I couldn't be there Saturday, but there was like an exposure
Well,
to.
Let's hear let's hear your analysis of this performance here, because this was a Leeds United side that was depleted. Leeds United side, even worse so, they were just begging for one of them to get COVID, because the problem was they were all injuries, so they couldn't.
I mean, like I was just saying, not much to take away from this game. You know, kind of hard to dance on their grave for this one. They didn't have much available to them, and you know, we took the chances. Martinelli looked great. Saka looks like, I mean, if we could just get Tomiyasu to fucking overlap for the goddamn kid, he wouldn't be taking on 3 players every single time.
He's doing okay.
I mean, look at, you know, like the team looked really good, but who were we playing? So no offense to Leeds fans. I mean that with the utmost respect. You're clearly missing a lot of players. You know, so it would have been a fun game to be there with you guys drinking and having fun, but you know, sad to be precautious.
I just, yeah, you know, I mean, it is getting in that kind of black comedy area for Leeds. They have so many players out, and it's just they're not getting anyone else, and then someone else gets some sort of knock or hamstring injury, and
but you know, listen, in the grand scheme of things,
are these just they just can't handle the training? And they're so, you know, they're so worn out and extended through training that they just can't continue, you know, once the actual game time comes around. I know that, you know, I don't know, but I've read and I've heard from our Stoop crew that the Bielsa training sessions are notoriously brutal. You know, is that the case? Because
the game was balanced. What is this fucking kid talking about? Oh my God. I swear to God, the fucking disrespect from him.
But listen, in the grand scheme of things, this is probably the best time to have this many injuries for Leeds, because these are games that, if they got any points out of them, would be like I said yesterday or the day before, Arsenal was your easiest game. And you just happen to come up against us when we're kind of in form, playing the same exact starting 11 for the 3rd week in a row, like unheard of. The rest of the league can't field the same squad, and we're like, please don't stop, please don't pause. We're actually doing all right now. And we'll probably start the same 11 next this weekend.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that there are 13 teams in the league that have games in hand. It is absolutely crazy to think that. You know, it's like I'm very happy that it's Christmas time and the Wolves are in 8th. But once all those game in hands get played, we'll probably end up like 12th or 13th. Just
we'll be 6th, most likely.
But listen, as the games in hand pile up for teams, they stop becoming advantages, and they're not always advantages anyway, because they become midweek matches, and a lot of teams they're not used to it, and you don't know how to manage midweek matches like the bigger clubs do, who are constantly in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, the two games in hand that United have, I mean, they're going to be dealing with Champions League and
if they go far,
that's right. They're at the elimination point now, right?
Yeah,
they're at the round of 16.
They're in the round of 16. So, but I mean, imagine they're making a good run on that, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, for the next 3 weeks, you have to play midweek, and in between your Champions League matches." So then that becomes a month where they've played 2 matches a week. You know, Ronaldo will start feeling 37 and start being like, "Okay, maybe I can sit this one out."
Yeah, exactly.
And who do they sit him out for? Maybe Norwich instead of the Champions League or the midweek, and then maybe Norwich nicks a point. That's the weird stuff that happens with these makeup matches. And like Tottenham has a shit ton. They've already been kicked out of the Europa Conference League.
They have to forfeit that. You know, which I think they're happy to do.
Oh yeah.
Know? So how?
But when do they make those up?
Right. Yeah. No, totally true. But I gotta say, man. 2 weeks off sure did Harry Kane a lot of good. He looked pretty sound against Liverpool, despite the cleating. He had a lot. He had some really great energy. He scored a really great goal.
It's a lot easier to play when you know that you won't be held accountable for anything you do on the fucking field. You know,
then he should have been doing that.
Come in 2-footed, whatever. I'll shove somebody in the back at full speed, blindside them. Like, it's a lot easier to be careless and free and unencumbered out there when you're doing that.
I thought Kane looked pretty good.
Fuck him.
I understand where you're sitting as far as your rivalry is concerned, but from what you've seen him do and to what he did yesterday, if that's the form he's going to show for the rest of the season, I don't know, man. That's something to be worried about.
No, I mean, listen, the thing wasn't, he was finding his chances. He was just missing them. And I feel like he's similar to Aubameyang, where like we've never doubted his skill and his talent level. Like Aubameyang, it's always shocking when he misses any shot that he takes, because you're like, wait, I'm used to those going in or at least being saved. And for Kane, it's kind of the same thing. So we've always known it's gonna turn around. He's not like just lost his skill, but who looked better was Son. Son was all over the place, and he was active and aggressive and picking passes out and creating space. And I think Dele Alli being in there created some space as well for Kane.
Yeah.
And remember Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson, they're fantastic, but defending is probably what they're the least best at.
Yeah, this is very, very true. I mean, this is definitely harks of last season when Liverpool was out Van Dijk for so long, and he wasn't in this one because of COVID, and it showed a little bit.
Oh, they were super vulnerable.
Yeah. I feel like Liverpool are always more susceptible to giving up goals than City and Chelsea. And I would say City is the next one. Chelsea are the less likely to give up goals.
I don't know, man. It's a testament to how good Virgil van Dijk is. You know, like they're a different team when he's not out there. You can see the confidence. Definitely. And from the midfield to the back to even Alisson. The front three play the way they play, and I don't think they're as affected, obviously, but the midfield and the back four definitely are without him in there.
Yeah, and then at one point they had Firmino and they had Firmino, Jota, Mane, and Salah all out on the pitch, and you're crazy. like shit, and then they score a goal, and they're like, see, it worked, and then 2 seconds later they give up a goal, and you're like, oh yeah. We got to defend.
So speaking about goal scoring, when Bobby gets on, Salah, handball or no?
No,
because it bounces off his head and onto his arm. We remember in that build up.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I think
I don't think so. That's last year they would have called it a handball. But it's like they changed that rule because it's just so close and so congested that, I mean, it's totally different if you're angling towards like a comparison to the Conte thing. It's totally different when Conte stood at midfield, no one around him but a Wolves player flying past him, and he panics and the ball misplays and comes off his arm. But like those crosses, man, it's, you just fucking throw your head out there and hope you get lucky most of the time. And if it deflects off your hand, like it's not like he had his hand there positioned to, like, in case he missed, it would fall right to Firmino. He didn't swat at it or anything. Like it just is one of those, bang, bang plays, as we say in baseball, that you have no control over, which is why they changed. And I think rightfully so, changed the rule. So that's my shut up.
Nobody watches baseball.
More people watch baseball than hockey is all I'll say. Moving on. I don't think personally that it was a handball.
Say that again. I didn't hear
it. These are the jokes, folks. If you like what we do, smash a like, join our channel, and toss a few quid our way.
Fuck, I fell for that one. Damn it, that was good.
Yeah, that was good. He had you. What he needs to also have is a big like mute sign that goes over your face. because a lot of times you don't know that you're muted and you're just talking
Yeah.
and talking and talking.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that happens to me, not other people. Anyway, okay, so the other match I wanted to talk about, well, let's just go back and say Spurs have to be very happy with that point, and Liverpool have to be a little bit upset, I would say. Liverpool feeling like they should have handled Tottenham, and I don't think they were ready for a very structured Conte-esque. We're starting to see
very spirited Spurs.
Yeah.
I think Spurs will be happy with a point, but it's at home, and you're playing with 10 against 10 men for an extended period of time.
Before the match, they would have been happy with a point, is what I'm.
Okay, fair. Coming out of it,
looking
though,
at the situation of it all, but during the match, no, they should feel like because they did look the better team for a lot of it, as much as that pains me to say. Of course, Liverpool missed some chances. All right,
and we're denied a clear penalty, so and
a red card right away.
And should have been playing against 10 men for most of the game. So
shouldn't have been on the pitch. Anyway, what up, Stan? Good to see you. Let's go to I want to talk a little bit about Man City beating up on Newcastle, but it just looked to me like João Cancelo was like, can you guys just shut up about Reece James and Terrence Trent D'Arby, please?
Yeah,
João Cancelo was like, he was playing in De Bruyne's normal position most of the match, forcing De Bruyne like forward. Mm-hmm. And then for the goal that he scored, I don't know if you guys saw it, but he got the ball, made a move to go around a defender, then went up, was about to shoot. And they were like, oh, fuck, he's going to shoot. And they closed him down and he went, oh, okay, no. And he came this way and shot her. It was just like.
He made a very, very nifty move.
Defender.
Yeah. He had no business making that move.
And then he missed a sitter.
It is not your father's football these days, man. I mean,
oh my God.
Like no. 20 years ago. Fantasy. 20 years ago, he would have been, benched the next game for even thinking about taking that shot as a defender. And now they're blasting him from 40 yards.
Past the past the midfield line.
It's a fun brand to watch, but it's definitely different.
There you go.
Speaking of players being benched, do we see Kieran Clark anytime soon?
Oh God!
I mean, awful on that first goal. Where he just
everyone's giving him shit, but I'm sorry, Dubravka. If the ball is anywhere where you can grab it against City, go fucking get the ball. Yeah. Like, you're not going to get another chance. The ball was floating in, and he went. Yeah,
he made a move for it. Caught the defender's eye. Yeah, it was bad on both of them. You know who wouldn't have made that mistake?
Any other keeper?
Connor Cody,
Bert Leno,
Jose
Tim Howard, the kids that Mark scored a goal against.
Yeah.
Like nobody. Willie Caballero would have come out for that. I get it.
He would have gotten up. He would have put out his cigarette.
Hold on.
Just give me a second.
Newcastle should have had
Here, hold this. Kieran, hold this.
Newcastle should have had a penalty too, though. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes,
no.
Absolutely.
No.
The guy gets clattered in. The ball is far away. It's in the box.
A foul anywhere else on the pitch. Why isn't it a foul in the box?
Because when it's all coming down, he's sliding in for it. His defender flies through and steals it. And you can see Ederson pulls his legs in to minimize the collision.
Again, intent does not matter. He fouls him in the box.
Yeah, I think it's a
foul.
Was an because
if it's not, foul as well.
It doesn't matter.
Legal,
it's
then
a foul in the box.
Anytime.
It's not. I'm not saying it's like a red card or anything like that, but it's a foul in the box. It's too subjective, and that's why I think my genius idea that should be one of those penalties you take from the 18. Just saying, it'll never happen. I think it's the best way to award like there's a foul in the box where you stop a goal scoring opportunity. That's from the spot, 12 yards. And if it's just a random, run of the mill foul in the box that it doesn't prevent a goal scoring opportunity, just give the keeper more of an advantage than the penalty taker.
Right.
Right. I think it's the best way because
I don't know. I just think
you can't just not call it. You can't not call it.
The ball.
It doesn't matter. And he didn't start his slide well before the ball was picked up by the defender. That's not true. Besides the fact that Ederson can see him coming, like everything's out in front of him, and he comes in and takes him out. Like that's the consistency part that we're talking about with the refereeing now is that'll be called a penalty in 2 weeks against another team.
Right.
Or next week.
And I'll tell you, I have all the respect in the world for Ederson to minimizing the contact, but the contact is still made.
Yeah. Again, we were just talking about intention not meaning anything. It's like the NBA when like the last 2 minutes, a foul is all of a sudden not a foul or is a foul that they haven't been calling all game. It can't be different sets of rules, or it can, but everyone has to know them.
Yeah, that's just such a weird one because both Ederson and the guy he smashed were nowhere near the ball when it happened.
Got to be better, right? Like you can't just rely on negligence and fucking being bad.
If that happens on another side of the pitch, where you just slide and knock somebody out, that's a foul. That's what you're saying, and I hear you. So, and if you're inside that box, that's that foul is a penalty. So,
I mean, would you call what Ederson did reckless? Right?
I guess that's where I'm at of no, because there's something I saw when I was watching it over and over in the replays where I just felt like he like kind of slid to move to like not go knees to the face or boots to the face. There was just something in it of like, oh, he went for the ball. There you go. Now John's just working.
That was pretty good on my first shot.
That was perfect. That was perfect. But I hear what you're saying. And Bobby, exactly that. It doesn't matter. You can't just take players out. And as I'm saying all this, I'm being reminded back to the Lacazette penalty call where I was saying the same thing. No, last year, I think that Mark, you were screaming that it's not a penalty. I just remember this where it was
was it something that happened?
So you can just take him out? It was like the ball wasn't there. The ball was lost or something, and he got thrown to the ground.
I don't remember.
So much football. I guess you're right. He still does clatter him. I guess it should be. I don't know. Should have been a penalty then.
I agree with me too, Rob. I agree with me too.
We're all in agreement.
Yeah. So Kantack, I'm drinking an IPA here after my coffee. So what are the chances we can get a keg brought over?
Man, I can sneak a couple cases. That's for sure. A keg is a lot.
It's a little harder to stick that under,
a little bit more conspicuous to walk out of a brewery with.
And especially now that we're talking about it on live TV.
Yeah, probably not gonna happen.
Matt, I was watching that show you've been talking so much about. What's this about this keg you want to give them?
Hey, I said get. I didn't say give.
Get.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean if you're willing to pay for it,
you can give it if you want to. But
do you have sixth kegs too?
What kegs?
Sixth, the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Because he's got the double tap.
Just don't be so quick with that fucking mute button. You know what I'm saying? Probably get a lot faster.
One hand's gonna have to wash the other, so
right.
You don't show up.
And these days, muted. It's one hand sanitizes the other.
First of all, Director John, I'm currently the only one that's brought beer from the brewery they work for to a Stoop event. So just because you weren't there and you were, in your cave. It's not my, I can't do anything about that.
Well, I'm trying my best to make you look pretty over here.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
It's not fucking working though.
And
right.
and on that note, he's out of here.
Okay, so let's just let it be known that I had my thought, my opinion, and you guys were able to sway me. I did listen, and I did, and I'll just so we know I'm not just some sort of a steamrolling full of nonsense. I can listen to some reason, and I guess I hear you guys. Rarely do any of us change our minds about anything, but I just have to say, let's take note that it happened. And I'll say, should have been a penalty. I think I was looking at it with Cancelo bias because I had captained him as well. So I'm like, that penalty means -8 points and probably. So I was looking at it with my FPL captain hat on, going, never a penalty, never a penalty. He didn't mean it. He feels bad about it, which doesn't matter, as I argued to Naji. Now I'd like to know what Naji thinks about it, because I'm sure he's like 100% penalty. Should have got a red card.
I think Naji's in his meeting.
Yeah,
that shamed him.
So, is that all the matches we had? Newcastle.
We can
Chelsea?
always talk about Wolves and Chelsea.
So, Mark, I gotta say, this run of matches, I've been looking at this for about a month ago, looked at this run for you guys. It was Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, right? And even some other teams in there.
Burnley, I know Brighton.
You had Burnley in there.
Brighton,
but
Brighton, not Burnley.
Brighton. But it was this run of matches, and it was actually back when like Brighton was playing well and still, getting draws. So, and you guys found a way to win that. But I have to say, it's tough to say that only 3 points out of those 4 or 5 matches is, or I guess it was 4 points out of those 4 matches.
4 points.
It's never something to be super happy about, but against those opponents and just looking at the way you guys played, this has actually been Wolves' best run in a while. And it just sucks that I feel like you should have at least 2 more points. And that would be from
we
City
should have gotten
Liverpool.
at least 1 point the City with the City match. That should have been a draw. I don't think without the penalty, I don't think they score on us. I think we were playing very, very spirited, very, very technical in the back. Look, did we park the bus? Absolutely. But when you're coming with all that kind of firepower coming at you that City has and who they had that day, you got no choice. That's the game they chose to play. And I know it pissed Pep off, who says, well, it's hard to play a team that doesn't want to play, which to me translated to it's really hard to play a team that doesn't want to play your style, and I don't know if that's necessarily true.
I think you make a great point.
The Liverpool loss was pretty heartbreaking because if Aït-Nouri doesn't go down in stoppage time, I think that ends up being 0-0.
And look, we're talking one extra block.
Yeah.
Like, and it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
And then you guys came at Chelsea. That's what I was shocked about, is that when that match started, I was like, here we go again. Another 90 minutes of Connor Cody getting smacked in the balls.
He was brilliant, by the way.
You guys you sat Traore and still fucking ran at them.
We also sat Semedo, which I was really surprised with. He was on the bench and he didn't play at all, but he's been really good moving the ball up on the right side of the pitch. Look, we got out of those 4 matches, we got 4, and we played well in all of them as far as I'm concerned. To have taken on City, United, Chelsea, Spurs, and Liverpool and give up 4 goals.
Yeah, Spurs as well.
We gave up 4 goals in those 5 games. 4.
Those are some heavy fucking hitters. And let's just look at Manchester City. 2 matches that they've played. the last 2 matches, they've scored 11 goals.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
to give up
nuts.
1 on a penalty is that's what I'm saying. It feels weird to be like, whoa, 4 points out of these 5 matches or whatever. You guys should be really happy. You're playing really well. It sounds kind of condescending, but it's not.
It's what it is. This is the style of football we're playing right now. What I'm hoping for is
Right now.
Right now, it is the
It's the style you've been playing since you started following the team.
Well, it definitely was a style with Nuno, and I think with Lage, he wants to open up a little more. And what he's trying to convince his team is that you can trust that defense back there. So get up the pitch and attack.
It sounds like you're saying that Wolves just need to trust the process.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what they said in Philadelphia, right? When they had Embiid on the injury
That's
list.
what they've been saying at Arsenal under Arteta is trust the process.
I think everybody I think that everybody can say at some point and use that phrase, trust the process. I do trust Bruno Lage a lot more than the fan base does. I think they're a little impatient. I think getting Podence back from injury, it allows us to be a little more creative because we're a completely different attacking team when Podence is on the pitch. I'm looking forward to seeing Podence and Ait Niori play together, which we haven't seen. We did see it against Liverpool, but we didn't see it against City. So what's going on? What do we see? You look very perplexed, Lolo.
I just saw the Arsenal Wolves match that's coming up.
It's in 2 weeks.
Not really. What it's a week from tomorrow.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's just 2 matches away. Like you
I know
play
we
Watford
got
before.
We got Watford next, and
on
you
the
guys
26th,
got Norwich.
and then that's the look on my face.
Oh wow!
Is that we play on Tuesday at 7:30
in the morning.
Oh, good.
Tuesday.
I can watch the game before work. It's perfect.
Oh man, that's gonna be crazy. Is it too early to start drinking?
Never.
7:30 in the morning.
Can't drink all day if you don't
You're
start at
actually
breakfast.
going to be taking the little one to class, to school, or is there no school?
Oh no, there's no school.
That's right.
So we'll be up watching football together, her and I.
Nice.
And I'll be like, no, that's my eggnog. Is it? Oh,
but you know, as far as Wolves are concerned right now, I'm happy to have not been blown out by any of those teams, and actually, to be honest, haven't been blown out at all season. The most we've given up is 2 goals.
Well, yeah,
I'm happy with our defense. I think Wolves have the best defense in the league. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but
there's somebody in a meeting right now that might disagree with you.
There's somebody where?
In a meeting right now that might disagree with you.
I think our defense is better than Chelsea. I'll stand by that.
Having said that, I think Chelsea are fucking dog shit and overrated and bad with money. Look at Lukaku. I mean, Jesus Christ. Martinelli can't even get on the pitch, and he's got more goals and assists at him in less minutes. It's fucking amazing.
How many goals does Lukaku have?
3.
4. 3 or 4.
3.
And Martinelli has 3 or 4 and 2 assists.
Martinelli has 4.
Yeah.
Fucking Emile Smith-Rowe has 2 in the past 20 minutes.
He just scored. Did you guys not see that?
No, like he's been on for the last 10 minutes of each match and scored.
Right.
So anyway,
you know.
Anyway, it's gonna be a fun, crazy week up ahead of matches. Oh, here we go with the live table. Live, like it's changing.
It's like the stock report.
You never know. Look at that. Arsenal creeping up the table, only 12 points out of first, and we got a 6-pointer coming up. So,
you know what the best thing is?
What's that?
Is a +4 in goal differential. Finally,
dude.
I feel like we're finally in the red or in the black here.
Yeah, definitely. It's just I don't see you gaining 23 goals, making up those 23 goals on 0.3.
We won't
I think I think that's
we'll be
that's
solidly
a fine,
in first place.
Fine spot for you guys to try and remain in as fourth.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to remain in fourth place. I don't know about all these Arsenal fans who are fucking content with that. I told you the only way to even compare with the Invincible season without doing an Invincibles yourself.
Go to 20 to first.
Is to say what Arteta did this season, and he goes, "I'm gonna spot y'all 3 games."
Oh Jesus! Listen to this guy.
It's not happening though.
I'm gonna spot you 3 games.
I'm just saying, if it does, it's the only way.
I'm gonna spot you 3 games and 11 goals.
The only year that would have been possible was 2015 or 2016 when we finished second. There's City, or I don't know that City's ever going to lose the fucking league again, man. And I don't mind it because I hate United and I hate Liverpool and I hate Chelsea more. I just don't ever want to see City win the Champions League. Right, and that's where my Schadenfreude goes. Anyway.
Yeah.
I've got to bounce. I've got to go get Hugo from school.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Matt. We really
we're
appreciate
going to call it a day as well, but we'll see you later, Kantack. Thank you so much for calling in, brother. Good to see you. All right. So that's it.
Another scintillating episode of On the Stoop.
It really was, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole debate in the beginning about the refereeing and stuff. So if you guys are still here, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button.
I love the muted button there. Look how
there you go.
How beautiful that is placed.
That is perfect.
Now you got to work on these. You got to have one for every quadrant. And for happy hour, you need like every sextant. Is that the word I'm looking for?
I think
it's
I don't know.
Quadrant.
There you go.
But that's for 4. When it's 6, it would be a sextant.
But isn't a sextant something that measures the distance on the horizon or something?
Something like that. I don't know.
I
barely know this. So Mark, go on. We do have to figure out what we're gonna do this week with shows coming up, but I'm gonna do a fantasy show later on this week. Probably not tomorrow because Arsenal plays tomorrow, and I'll be watching that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Happy hour is on Christmas Eve. So everybody just pay attention to the website. You'll get updates and on the YouTube members page. So we'll let you guys know when all the latest shows are coming out. But if we don't see you before Christmas, for those of you who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. For those of you who don't, Happy Holidays. For those of you who don't have holidays, Happy Week.
As I heard Rebecca Lowe say, happy festive week.
Happy festive week. And don't forget, Wednesday is Festivus. So we should do an airing of grievances on Wednesday.
It's Thursday, the 23rd.
Thursday, sorry. I keep thinking
that actually would be Thursday. Fun.
So how about Thursday night we do a Festivus airing of grievances?
And we air the grievances of our club.
I got a lot to say about you. What does he say? I got a lot of problems with you people. All right, guys. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Mark, much love, brother. John, thank you.
We'll see y'all soon.
We'll see you later.
Whenever.